Rudy reacts after FBI agents raided Rudy Giuliani's home and office. He finally responds and calls it illegal.
It stays blustery right through tonight, but we add a chill as well. We'll have all the details coming up.
This is News 4 Now for April 30th, 2021. I'm Randa Novini. A shooting strikes at a world-famous restaurant in Brooklyn. 2 people were shot at Peter Luger Steakhouse in Greenpoint. Police say a fight between 2 men inside the restaurant spilled outside, and then someone started shooting, hitting 2 diners outside. Both are expected to recover, and police arrested the suspected shooter. The NYPD is ditching the dog. The department said it will stop using a robotic dog that grabbed the attention of people on social media. The dog, known as Ditches Dog, was used, the department says, to get into places that are too dangerous to send police officers. But critics questioned whether it could be used instead for surveillance, and some city council members questioned the cost at $94,000. The NYPD pushed back on that, saying the dog had a loudspeaker and cameras for eyes. So what will happen to Ditches Dog? Well, it's going to go back to its original owner and creator, Boston Dynamics. Rudy Giuliani, the former New York City mayor and President Trump's personal lawyer, is responding to the FBI raid on his home and office. Agents raided both locations earlier this week. It's part of a federal criminal investigation into Giuliani's actions in Ukraine. Sources tell us agents seized an iPad, a cell phone, and a laptop. On Fox News, Giuliani called the raids, quote, completely illegal and unconstitutional.
The only way you can get a search warrant is if you can show that there's some evidence that the person is going to destroy the evidence or is going to run away with the evidence. Well, I've had it for 2 years and I haven't destroyed it.
Giuliani says he is innocent. He was accused of pushing Ukraine to dig up dirt on the son of President Joe Biden during the 2020 election. He's also accused of trying to undermine the former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. The race to vaccinate against COVID in New Jersey gets a shot in the arm. In the same week that New York started allowing walk-ins at its biggest vaccine sites, New Jersey is following suit. All 6 mega sites are allowing anyone 16 and up to get a shot without an appointment. So if you live or you work in New Jersey, you can go to any location, no matter which county you're from. In Queens, a man died after a car crashed into an outdoor dining setup in Astoria. The man was on a scooter when an out-of-control car crashed into him, and then 2 other cars before smashing into outdoor tables at Rosa Toro restaurant. Surveillance video shows the impact, diners leaping inside to get to safety. The driver stayed at the scene, and police say it appears the driver suffered some sort of a medical episode behind the wheel. Some COVID restrictions will be rolled back in Connecticut. Starting on May 1st, the curfew for restaurants, theaters, and other entertainment venues will be extended to midnight. You can sit outside and get a drink now without having to buy food, and that can be done without any seating limits. Governor Lamont hopes to end business-related restrictions on May 19th. The plug is being pulled permanently at Westchester County's Indian Point nuclear power plant. The facility not only generated about a quarter of the locally used electricity, it generated worries about safety both to the Hudson River and to the people who live within 50 miles of the atomic plant. Indian Point opened in the 1960s. Opponents worked for decades to close it.
I think that the plant closing is a good thing. I don't think we're going to suffer any shortages of energy.
There are concerns in the area that our taxes will go up. That's probably the major concern.
Indian Point has been our largest taxpayer and our largest employer for over 50 years.
But state and federal officials vow to keep that economic impact at a minimum. The plant's operator, Entergy, insists it provided reliable and safe service. Well, Storm Team 4's Maria LaRosa is here now, and the winds today were just roaring, Maria.
It was a wild and windy day, and it will continue to be through this evening still. So let's get you ready. Temperatures will manage to hang on to the mid-60s at least through the early part of the evening, but you can see how that colder air moves in, and we'll be into the 40s by midnight. But you see all the curls here. Winds will stay brisk. While not in that 40 to 50 mile per hour range, will still be brisk in that 20 to 30 plus mile per hour range right out of the northwest right through tomorrow morning. And with temperatures that'll be dropping into the 30s and 40s, yes, there is definitely this spring chill as we begin May. 42 for the low in the city, 39 in Sussex and Poughkeepsie, 32 in Monticello. You factor in the winds and it'll feel more like the low 30s in the city, low 20s to the north and west. And if you're up really late or up really early, you may even get a few snowflakes. The good news is May will win out by tomorrow afternoon.
As the city reopens, some foodie favorites are coming back to life. News 4's Gilma Avalos takes us inside Tavern on the Green as it reopens.
During the pandemic, Central Park has been a haven, but it's been missing one of its most iconic landmarks, Tavern on the Green, which has been closed for over a year. But that's all about to change as diners walk through those doors once again. The sounds of a working kitchen fill a space that sat vacant for 13 long months. Garnishes and glazes topping signature dishes, ready to welcome New Yorkers back.
The silence of this place was sort of haunting. And now to hear all the pistons and the refrigeration and the stoves and everything fired back up is so exciting.
The pandemic tested the entertainment industry, permanently shuttering 5,000 bars and restaurants. Tavern on the Green co-owner Jim Caiola wrestled with the tough decision of shutting the doors here at the quintessential New York City restaurant last March. Today is the day they've anxiously been waiting for.
It's just so great to be a part of the resurgence of that energy, and I feel really honored to be opening at a time where I think surviving is not even a doubt.
It comes on the same day Mayor de Blasio announced New York City will fully reopen in July. And Tavern on the Green's timing couldn't be more perfect. Come Monday, customers will actually be able to grab a seat at the bar once again, which, pandemic or not, is one of the lifebloods of restaurants.
And no secret that for any restaurant or bar, that is the biggest moneymaker.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, liquor definitely is the biggest moneymaker.
People in the neighborhood have been coming up to me all week long asking, oh, is this bartender coming back? Is that bartender coming back? I cannot wait to visit them. They're all coming back.
The Central Park landmark with an 87-year history has undergone renovations and transformations and can now say it survived a pandemic too, ready to thrive again.
I think we're really shining the beacon on hope and the fact that we're coming back and New York is going to come back better than it's ever been.
Tavern on the Green has been taking reservations for weeks, and it's fully booked for its first big night back. 580 reservations inside. And coming up at 6, we'll tell you how this reopening is boosting another New York City institution, Broadway. In Central Park, Gilma Avalos, News 4 New York.
That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned next for the latest from New York Live.
We love when women make history, and today it is my honor to take you inside to Leia, the first ever female-owned brewery of its kind in New York City.
Tell me how you got interested in beer. Where did it all begin?
Right out of college, I served in the Navy. I was fortunate enough to be stationed in San Diego and Hawaii. San Diego is an IPA mecca, and that's where I fell in love with beer.
I was really interested in wine, and during business school at NYU, I did a lot of wine-related projects, including spending a summer working at Wolfer Estate. And for me, that sparked a desire to create that same experience, but in the beer world, because as few women as there are in wine, there are even fewer in beer.
As you can see, we wanted to make sure people were aware this is a production facility. So from the main entrance in the retail space, you can peek into our brewery.
Wow.
This is our brew house. We've brewed 6 beers here so far in the last month.
How much beer do you think you have in here?
Probably 80 to 100 barrels worth.
The most traditional format for a craft brewery is the half-barrel size, but for us, when we started the company and we started selling beer 2 years ago, Leanne and I did all the sales and deliveries ourselves. This weighs 160 pounds, and we could barely, with the two of us, get it onto a truck, much less into the basement of a bar in the Lower East Side. So we switched to only selling the smaller kegs in distribution. So that means we can hire anyone who can lift 50 pounds versus 160 pounds. Beer delivery is traditionally an entry-level role, so it opens up the pool of candidates so we can hire women or people who don't regularly weightlift to deliver the beer and hopefully get their start in a career in beer.
So we have made it to the beautiful tap room, and we have quite a colorful spread here. How many beers do you serve?
We have about 13 on tap right now, almost all hazy IPAs and fruited sours like you see here.
And it doesn't stop here at colorful beers. You also have colorful cocktails.
Yes, so we have 3 cocktails. In front of you, you have a gin crush. You also have the Leia punch, and we have the Leia Bellini.
Smells so good.
Open House NYC is home with you. Sundays at 9 a.m.
Tiana Morano is a dedicated nurse and advocate for other healthcare professionals. With 2 kids, 2 jobs, and her own business, she could really use an internet, cable, and phone upgrade for her personal and professional use. I'm teaming up with Optimum to provide her faster and more reliable internet, an entertainment package, and her own dedicated business line. The Morano family is now fully hooked up, and you could be too. Visit Optimum.com for the best deals.
George to the Rescue is sponsored in part by Optimum.
I'm most proud of watching a young woman find her voice.
That bag is my Parkinson's. I beat the heck out of it.
We want to make sure that people in the neighborhood have access to healthy food.
There's always something good you can do. How awesome is that?